We're back from executive session, just reminding, everyone that this meeting is being recorded. We will start with the warrants.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before you, there's a handful of warrants, and we did amend the agenda, so it will include, to start, warrant 2627 dated June 30th, 2026. This was last of fiscal year 26. On the payroll side of things, coming in at $536,805, including mostly overtime and some summer workers for Public Works. For bills payable, coming in at $1.3 million. You'll see about $16,000 for new hydrants and backflow testing for the DPW, about $290,000 for insurance premiums for the schools, a little over $50,000 for transportation, the buses. And in the treasurer line, you'll see $205,000 for health insurance premiums for the town side of things. Also facilities project warrant FP 91 coming in at about $1,570,000 or so, a majority of which being construction dollars with some IT monies mixed in there as well. You also have warrant 2701, the first of fiscal year 27, dated July 9th, 2026, for payroll coming in at $321,512. And on bills payable coming in at $3,694,532. A lot of these items are customary items that you'd see at the start of the fiscal year. So paying our insurance renewals up front, for example, you get a discount if you pay that right out of the gate at the start of the fiscal year. For police, you'll see a bunch of renewals, about $11,000 for fiscal 27 license and membership renewals. In the treasurer's office, $2,963,000 and change for Essex Tech Regional Assessment.
I don't think it's Essex Tech.
Yes, thank you, sir. The retirement system. Turning the page, warrant number 2702 dated July 23rd, 2026 for payroll, $778,452. Once again, some overtime, EMT stipends, some start of the year items. You'll see for bills payable just over $1 million, a couple annual town meeting appropriations popping up there. As Mr. Garber noted when he walked in today, about $68,000 for a new truck for the facilities director, which is sitting outside. As well as $13,848 for the purchase of the new mower, also an annual town meeting appropriation. Moving down for the library, a little over $40,000 for the fiscal 27 MVLC membership. That's the Merrimack Valley Library Consortium. Is that, yeah?
Yes.
Yep, nailed it. And for the schools, miscellaneous fiscal 27 renewal fees, $55,000. Once again, just a lot of start of the fiscal year. There's a facilities project warrant 92 item there as well, $40,821. A lot of that is design work, a little bit of reworking as we look to land the plane here and wrap the project out, as well as about $13,500 for IT related items as we wrap up some of the finer points of the tech package on the site as well. And that's everything for now for the warrants.
Justin, I don't know if you would know, we can ask Paul when he comes in. Does that price of the truck include the plow, or is the plow going to be an add-on to that?
Oh, you're gonna have to check with Paul on that one.
He's coming, so we can ask.
We'll get him
I
then.
thought it was part of.
It's usually a
I remembered-
package, but
I think it's
yeah,
included, but
we'll
I thought I
confirm.
remembered that.
Any other questions?
On
I do
2701, on the, I think you said it, but just to be clear, was it to pay it up front, the 20,180 under accounting? Or is that a recurring,
That's the annual renewal.
that's just
Which one is
when
it?
you-
The ClearGov renewal, the 22.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. So the 590 is the, where you get a discount for paying it
Oh,
up
okay.
front. Yeah, the
And-
20,160 is just the annual renewal for ClearGov.
Thank you.
The separate line.
Thank you
Yep.
much.
Anything else? If not, is there a motion?
Chairman, I move that we accept warrants 2627, 2701, 2702, Facilities Project 91, and Facilities Project 92.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll have minutes of our June 23rd and July 7th meetings. Are there any comments on them? If not, is there a motion?
I'll move to accept the minutes for June 23rd, open session, and July 7th, open session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, Justin, your update and report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A few things going on around town. The Maple Street Bridge project has continued to see progress. We had a meeting, Superintendent Goodwin, Mr. Cloutier from Meld and I last week, talking some of the finer points of the coordination for the project, specifically the pedestrian bridge that's going to accompany the work. MassDOT would like the town, specifically the select board, to vote to accept that bridge, meaning we're gonna own it in perpetuity and all the expenses relative to maintenance.
Just the pedestrian.
Yeah.
Correct, yes, yep. But I told them in so many words that it wouldn't be fair to ask the board to accept it if they didn't have something to go off of in terms of a spec sheet or design.
Some kind
So-
of design.
Yeah, so once they have something, they're gonna submit it to my office, we'll bring it forward on an upcoming agenda. I maybe even ask them to come in and speak to the project a little bit and give an update to the public, and you can vote to accept it at that time. So just something coming down the road. I've been working with Rep. Jones's office to secure a $500,000 earmark in the bond bill to help defray costs for the demolition, removal, and redevelopment of the Lake Street property, the former fire station. Thank you to Chair Prentakis. We had a brief brainstorm over the phone about what a good approach would be for an upcoming project, and I think that will fit nicely. Bond bill money is a little different than a traditional earmark in that it's awarded, but then the state has to actually go out and borrow for it. There's a couple more hoops and hurdles there, so it's not guaranteed money, but it's good to have in our pocket. So we'll keep up on that. The majority of the last of the furniture order for the two buildings for the municipal building project was delivered on July 16th. There's still a few items that are expected to trickle in August, but a majority of it is in the building now. So thank you to Context for making that happen. The open space and rec plan that you had discussed at your last meeting received 4 responses. 3 of them met the minimum criteria. We tossed the 4th one because they hadn't done any work in Massachusetts. Of the 3 firms that we received that met minimum criteria, the one with the highest score was Horsley Witten. Their proposal came in at $39,000 and change, which is roughly 30% under the $55,000 that CPA or in CPA funds that was appropriated at annual town meeting 2025. So that's going to go before the Conservation Commission. They'll be reviewing the response. We being Kristen and I, work to identify items that can be carved out and done in-house in a good faith effort to try to defray costs there based on the feedback we received from the board. And ultimately, after the Conservation Commission reviews it, it'll come back to the select board for your review and final approval if you find that it's something
Just briefly, the scope of work is what?
that they're gonna be doing for the open space and rec plan.
Yeah, for the company that would be, yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to be effectively cataloging and putting forth a plan for all open space throughout town. And so the last time a review was done and a plan was put in place was 2013, so we're a little overdue there. There are items that are going to carry over, but it's not quite as simple as going through and just kind of like updating the existing document. We want them to do something comprehensive here. The document also kind of goes hand in hand and informs the master plan process and several other core documents. So
When you say come up with a plan for, so catalog, I understand that, and then you said come up with a plan for, what does that mean?
So if, pick any piece of open space and land that the town doesn't own. It
So
was
this is for non-town owned or town owned?
both. So you
Okay.
catalog town owned, but also non-town owned properties in town that you may consider, or that the community would deem to be at risk. And so it helps you outline a plan from, in terms of like a funding mechanism to line up money. Because if somebody goes to sell, even if it's in chapter land, you can claw back taxes on it, but you don't really have enough time to like cobble together a town meeting, get an appropriation, and that's all, of course, providing you actually have the money on hand to deal with it. So it helps you lay out plans, contingency plans. So if a prime piece of property as identified by the community pops up somewhere down the road, the town is ready to act on it instead of just kind of like standing with our hands in our pockets. That's, in my opinion, the biggest value, especially for a community like Middleton that's committed to preserving open space. But I'll forward the proposal from Horsley Witten so you all can dig into it a little bit. We'll take a look, see what it looks like, and I know the temperature of the board relative to paying consultants, but let's take a look at it and we'll see what's there.
And it's only totally open space parcels?
Well, it's open space and recreation opportunities, but like trail systems, things like that.
Okay, thanks.
I've been working with Chair Prentakis to develop a long-term management plan, a draft of which we are going to submit as part of the GFOA budget process. The biggest difference being, I guess, and I think the first time it got on my radar actually was my first annual review here in town. Mr. Cresta had mentioned that he'd like to see me kind of expand into more long-term planning. And every year I work with you, the board, to develop goals, which are good 3 to 5 year snapshots. What I'd like to try to put together is if we were to take those goals, broaden them, and then look at them from a higher view, what we can be doing to prepare for things that are 5 and 10 years out. And I think as a community, there hasn't been a ton of work done in that area beyond the master plan process. But I think something coming from this office and shaped by the select board would be a good guiding document for us from a policy standpoint. So I'll work with Chair Prentakis on that, and then we'll bring a draft forward for your August 18th meeting. I'll solicit your feedback, and then we'll do a final draft for approval, hopefully in September. So just keep an eye out for that. We've been reviewing surplus items left over in the old buildings. There's a process for that, and it's kind of cumbersome. So one area where we have received a lot of feedback, though, is doing a pass-through first to see if there are in-town departments that could make use of some of the surplus furniture and items or supplies. And after that, offering them up to surrounding communities we've heard that may have interest in some of the equipment, municipalities, specifically town halls or public safety buildings. As part of that process, the way I'd like to go about doing it is, some of our department heads have been approached by neighboring departments. I'd like to catalog that furniture, take a photo of it, compile it in a list, bring it to the select board, and let you know like that the town of X is interested in this item. You all can review it, vote on it, and then we'll send it out the door. Once we purge those items, anything that's remaining that's of value, we'll go ahead and do an auction for it. We're not going to get a ton of money for it, but at least get it out the door. And then whatever's left after that, we're going to have to pay to throw out, and we'll have some OT for the DPW or maybe some of the summer help go through. We'll put some roll-offs outside the buildings and just clear them out. So that work is ongoing. Unfortunately, our newer ambulance experienced an accident yesterday, being Monday, and it will be out of commission for the foreseeable future. Thankfully, everybody involved was in pretty good shape. There weren't any serious injuries, but worth mentioning, we'll be rolling with one for now. I have spoken with Chief Lacoste about it. We're going to look into the possibility of renting, if that's an option, to have a backup. And then, of course, we can fall back on mutual aid, which is a good temporary fix, but if we find the primary ambulance is totaled, we may see a lead time of 18 months to get a replacement. He did confirm, because Mr. Garber asked the question earlier today, that we can take the box and just put it on a new chassis, but even then it would take a substantial amount of time for that to happen.
And insurance would cover that cost.
That is correct, yes. It's unfortunate cost of doing business from time to time.
With our vehicles that experience accidents, does that drive up costs of insurance?
It depends, honestly, if it's something we're at fault and whether or not it exceeds $1 million threshold, because those get tossed out. So was there anything you wanted to add to that?
It's a case by case. Again, whether who's at fault is a big factor. The cost of the claim, if the claim is across our general liability, vehicle, and other policies, has a factor. We'll be having another safety. We have a quarterly, at least, safety committee of all the department heads who manage buildings, vehicles, and people. And so one of the things that I want to give our department heads kudos on is working with the safety committee to try to get other rewards so that when we do have loss ratio impacts, we're doing other safety preventative work to reduce those. So it's case by case, but it's something that myself, Finance Director Wood, and Sharon Bainbridge from our accounting office keep a really close eye on to reduce your impact.
Having sort of driver's ed courses, like courses,
Oh, yes, we
does
do.
that help?
It sure does, and we
got
do.
credits and,
And we're currently actually in the queue for the driver simulator course to come to town. Thanks to Captain Armitage, he has booked that for March of +27, which is not great, but that is how long the waiting list is for the driver simulator course. We are doing some other review of our driving protocols, as we typically review those every year or two, and we're due for the summer review anyway.
Okay. Anything else, Justin?
just a few items. The launch of the second annual Citizens Academy for the 2026 season will be announced shortly, with a rollout to occur over the fall. I know Jackie's been hard at work at that. Is there anything you'd like to add?
One change from last year, we're going to go up to 9 sessions instead of 8, because we had such a great response and we went late so many nights, so we've increased to 9 nights. So we'll be rolling the program from Thursday, September 17th through Thursday, November 12th, and I want to thank all the department heads for their time and expertise in this program. I can't wait to have our departments be able to show off our new buildings as part of this program, though the registration and oversight will still be working through the Flint Public Library for registration purposes. But we're very excited, and we'll be putting out that solicitation for people to sign up very soon. Same program as last fall, though, so if anybody participated last fall, we won't accept them into the program this year.
Thank you.
Is there a limit on the number of people?
20 to 25 is usually a good class size, so that was, and then last year we had a wait list and we did use it, so.
Wildly successful. Yeah. The WT Rich trailer will be moved off-site Wednesday of next week. That's the contractor who's been doing a majority of the work here on site. That will kick off the demobilization process that's going to occur over the next 7 to 8 weeks or so on site. They'll be packing up and wrapping everything up, so.
Everything will be looking great for the
For
September
September
19th.
19th, yep, they know it, because we keep reminding them. Negotiations with the buyers of 69 North Main, the old police station, are ongoing, with an additional meeting to occur this week. We really do have to wrap up a P&S with them sooner rather than later, otherwise they're going to forfeit their deposit, so we'll just keep an eye on that. And then P cards are being distributed to department heads. That was part of a discussion that came up over fiscal year '26. So kicking off fiscal '27, those are being distributed to department heads where appropriate. Thank you to the finance department for making all that happen between the treasurer's office and accountant. And that is it. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Any questions?
No, thanks, yes.
Just on the ambulance, any consideration, I know it's early, on how it affects us service in the jail? I mean, if we're gonna have to go renting, is there?
Yeah, the
I don't know.
conversation.
I'm not expecting an answer now, but just
Yeah,
to,
I'll
that's a
ask.
concern I have when I hear that.
Yeah.
Okay. And maybe the sheriff will rent us some.
Yeah, maybe he'll loan us one.
Maybe.
Your optimism is inspiring.
Very inspiring, isn't it?
All right, we'll move on. And next, we'll hear from our new Masco Superintendent, Heather Galante, and Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Operations, Jean Milley, if you come up. Masco is a big part of the community, and it is also a big part of our operating budget at about 1/3. So, we're glad that you're here. So, tell us about yourselves, what you've learned so far in the short time that you've been here, and how you will approach relationships with the member towns, and how we can work together to be successful.
Casa? I think by right, we should introduce ourselves to them and them introduce them too.
That's fine. I've already met them, so I have.
Okay.
So Debbie, you
I'm
can start.
happy to go around, also have met Justin already as well, thank you, but happy to, and then we will share, sorry to interrupt you, but we will share a little bit about our backgrounds and sort of what brought us to Masco, and then answer your questions.
Perfect. So I'm Debbie Carboni, Select Board Assessing.
Jeff Garber, Select Board.
Nice to meet you.
Rick Cascio, to Select Board.
Justin Saltzback, we've met.
Jackie Bresnahan, Assistant Town Administrator, HR Director, and I actually did have the pleasure of meeting you, but I don't think we got to chat during the superintendent search process.
Oh, great. Thank you
Yes.
for reminding me of that. So thank you for having us tonight, first and foremost. My name is Heather Galante, brand new superintendent of Masconomet Regional School District, Week 3. Joining me this evening is Dr. Jim Mealy. He's our new Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Operations. We'd like to share a little bit about our backgrounds and what brought us to Masconomet School District. For those watching, this is a public meeting, and we don't know how closely those interviews were monitored. So this is I'm entering 29 years in public education. My whole career has been in public education. I started as actually a social studies teacher and a counselor, 0.5. It was really hard to get teaching positions when I graduated in 1998. Different climate now. And I was lucky to actually start at a regional school district. It was Minuteman Vocational Regional. Learned a ton there. Was able to move on to a full-time social studies position at Arlington High School, where I did all the things: class advisor, coached soccer, Yay World Cup, and was recruited. I was recruited by the principal at the time into administration. So I was what we call a reluctant administrator. He saw some potential and promise in me, and I am forever thankful to Charlie Skidmore, again from Arlington High School. Sat on my licensure for a while, actually, and remained teaching, and then moved on to Chelmsford High School, which is a suburban district, and I spent the better part of a decade as a dean of students there. After that, I had moved to Bedford with my husband and kids. They posted for the principal position. I went for it, and the past decade I served with love and affection as a principal of Bedford High School. My daughter graduated from there in 2024. My son is a rising senior. We are close, but he is elated that he's going to have his senior year without his mom serving as the principal, so we'll have a little bit of distance there. And 10 years is a long time to be a principal and serve your town. I'm hoping to serve in a different capacity, and I am really closely connected as a resident of Bedford to Bedford High School still. Applied for the superintendency here. I was really looking to continue my career. I shouldn't say this out loud, but I hope this is the final stop if it works out. I spend a long time in the places that I serve. I like to build relationships. It's important to me, building highly functional teams that are in the service of students and families. I've been really successful in all of the schools that I've worked in. I have really good friends who were co-workers at first and then became family to me in all of the districts that I've had the pleasure and privilege of serving. And I'm hoping that to be the case at Masconomet. I'm going to let Dr. Jim Mealy introduce himself, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what we've already done to establish some partnerships and what we hope to do moving forward. Because the road ahead is long, and we do hope to have a really strong partnership with all 3 member towns and all of you.
Thank you for having us. A few similarities between myself and Heather. I started out as a history major and became a social studies teacher and coach. I then became operations manager for housekeeping at Boston Medical Center. Went back to school, got my MBA. I was a DPW business manager, and now for the last 20 years, almost now, I've been a school business administrator. The reason I'm a proud father of 5, been married 41 years now, which is a testament to the patience and fortitude of my wife. And I live in Georgetown. And so when Heather was talking about why Masconomet, Heather is one of the reasons. I had spoken to her when she became the superintendent and could tell that she is somebody I would really like to work with. And somebody that it became clear was it's important to have good relationships. It's always been one of my strengths is building relationships. And you want to have a community that appreciates, values education and appreciates, what needs to get done in order to provide the best education. And that was apparent that that's the case here. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, and it's very clear that Topsfield, Boxford, and Middleton all pour a ton, an ample amount of resources into the schools, and we know that strong schools create strong communities. We are really wanting to introduce ourselves to not just the select boards, but the finance committees in advance of any asks that we need to make moving forward. The other piece is we are trying to really meet the taxpayers that don't have children in our district anymore and yet still support us both fiscally and in other ways. So ideas are welcome. We're trying to meet as many people as possible. Clearly, we have an avenue to reach the families, students, faculty, and staff that we serve directly, but we are equally interested in getting to know the community members that comprise Middleton who don't have kids there. Thus far, it has been a tremendously warm welcome. Our school committee has been so supportive, and we're excited to create a strong team to serve all three towns. We've met with many, many people. Kostya was part of the liaison board. We met with last week, I think it was, or 2 weeks ago, with Scott Morrison, who facilitated that meeting, superintendent of Tri-Town, who's been very generous with his time and information for me. We've met with faculty members, students, families, and we are going to continue to avail ourselves of those introductory meetings and throughout the year, which will inform my entry plan to be presented at our school committee meeting in September. And then the findings of those entry plan will be probably, I think, January or February, presented by actually Jim and myself. We are committed to being fiscal stewards, and I know that there's been a lot of conversation around how much each of the communities commit to making Masco a really great place. That is not lost on us. We are going to want to build our relationships, get that trust from you through transparent leadership. We're both really approachable. Our door is almost always open. But more importantly, we're looking to get into the communities rather than have people come to us. We are going to come to events, go to Council on Aging. I'm going to be reading to students at the library, or kids, they might not be students. Even though they're littles, hopefully they'll be at Masconomet one day. So relationships, I think, are a strength of both of us, and we are going to build them quickly and leverage them for really strong outcomes for our students.
Now, when you mentioned that, you wanted to meet with people that don't have children in the schools, in Middleton, we are a little different than the other two towns in the fact that we have a large number of condos. Mm-hmm. We have 3 large condo associations, and perhaps you can reach out to them to see if there's interest in you speaking to their residents.
That's a great idea.
Jeff, you're the president of the trustees of one of the condo associations, so there's a natural in, and I don't know, I won't speak for yourself, but I would assume your residents would have some interest in that.
Definitely, yeah. We'll reach out.
You're feeling forced to say they'd be interested in hearing from us,
I think
but
it's a great
thank you.
idea.
Thank you, Jeff.
They're always interested. They're very civic-minded, our residents there, so.
So those opportunities, something I didn't think of, I don't know if you thought of that, definitely.
Because,
Yes.
We have like 1,000 condos, the other two towns have virtually 0, so we're different in that way.
The other piece in small, and they translate into big ways, Justin has offered a meeting room for our leadership retreat. We typically would have rented a place out free of charge in this beautiful building. We'll be meeting here in August, and, you know, he coordinated that, so thank you in advance. And I think we'll be sort of looking for maybe more opportunities to use a beautiful space.
We not only have this space, but we have meeting room space at the library.
Yes. So any opportunities to meet folks, again, within and, you know, outside of the school environment, we're up for it. Again, we're excited for the year. We're both really optimistic, and everyone we met has been honest, transparent, but really supportive. So we're eager to really, we've already gotten started, but continue along these entry meetings and meet as many people as possible, capture stakeholder feedback. I also should acknowledge Trevor, who's on our school committee, is here for tonight, but also in support, which, I mean, I think speaks to the relationships of Masconomet and the three towns. So very strong, and feeling really supported as I commence my superintendency, and Jim his assistant superintendency with Masconomet.
You know, one issue that we would like to be kept abreast of is, you know, negotiations with Georgetown. Because that could have, you know, impacts that we need to be prepared, may need to be prepared for. So it's hard to update things in a public meeting, so you could update, you know, the town administrators of them, which could then, you know, pass on some information as appropriate, you know, to select boards and FinComs, et cetera.
Yeah, we do envision meeting with Justin, Kevin, and Matt regularly. I've already met with all three of them, and we're hoping to put something on the calendar that is more consistent. Absolutely. And we've already exchanged numbers, again, with the other two town managers as well. So really, it can be official dialogue, but also like, heads up, this is coming, may want to watch this. Again, the transparency I can't speak to enough builds trust. And so we can say all of this, but we hope that you see that in our actions as the year progresses, and hopefully we can be here for several years together as a team. It's a pretty special place, the school. Again, I've met some educators. The students are so kind and accommodating. I was talking to one of them the other day. I was lost. I'm trying to find my way around. And she's like, "Oh, you're the new superintendent." "Yes." And she goes, "Do you have a commute?" And I thought, like, what 8th grader would think about asking about my commute? But I thought that was, first of all, very kind, pretty high level, and they're doing their, like, homework. Like, she's not from one of these three towns. Does she have a commute? Will she be at our events? So again, learning the community, so warm and welcoming. There's work to do for sure, but we're up for the task. And I'm really excited to have a partnership with Jim. So already, I think we're a strong team.
It's nice the two of you coming in at the same time, it's got a fresh ideas. I think that's gonna help out a lot.
I think it speaks volumes,
And I've
because
told,
it's a team.
Yeah.
told Jim that him coming to this meeting already exceeds the number of meetings his predecessor came to in Middleton.
So I never met him.
So we're welcoming the type of outreach and, you know,
Yeah,
reaching
yeah.
out from both sides that you guys are speaking of. I think it'll benefit the school mostly, but also the parents and the residents of all the towns.
I will say that following the liaison meeting that we had, Steve Greenberg reached out to me and we had lunch, and he is the best. I'm looking forward to having him as a resource and working with him.
He's very smart.
He knows his stuff, yeah.
He does.
All right, anything else?
Nothing.
Okay.
Other than thank you.
And welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for
Thank you so
coming.
much.
We appreciate it. And anytime you want to come, you're always welcome.
Yep.
Yes, and I just, for all of you, I do want to, so thank you for having us, but through the budget process, it's going to be a really transparent process with some community meetings and presentations. And so I will share that with Justin, but we may do a repeat visit here to just invite people publicly to those presentations, or if we do some sort of recording. Again, our outreach is limited to families and students and faculty and staff who are at the school, so we'll definitely be utilizing the town managers and all of you to get the word out, just to as many people as possible.
Great to hear.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Enjoy the evening.
Good to see you.
Next, we have a joint meeting with the Board of Assessors. Tula, could you come up?
Should probably call the office staff too.
No.
No, they don't get it.
No. So, who's the acting chair or the chief?
Tula is chair.
Okay,
So
Tula,
Tula,
could you?
you're gonna sit right there.
Call the meeting to order.
Yeah, for this, okay, so we are here jointly to appoint a vacancy on the Board of Assessors for a term through 5/18/27. We have two candidates that expressed interest, Nick Halides and Natalie Lovett. So I would ask both of you to tell us about yourselves and how your background will aid the Board of Assessors. So Nick, we'll start with you if you care to come up.
Is that Natalie? Thank you. Hey, Nick.
Good evening. I'm here to present my background and experience for your consideration of me as an appointee to complete an existing term as a member of the Board of Assessors. I'm honored to volunteer my time to serve my town. I moved to Middleton in 2022 with my wife, and I purchased a retirement home in Blue Haven. We moved from Salem, where we lived for nearly 30 years. I've previously served on a municipal board, the Zoning Board of Appeal in Salem, for 6 years. I've also been involved in the 5 Eastern Mass Rotary Clubs since 1988. And for those of you who are not familiar with Rotary, Rotary's motto is service above self. I've supported all the communities where I've lived, and I've looked forward to contributing here. My professional background and training is very relevant to this position. I retired from a leadership position with United Bank, an $8 billion regional bank, as head of commercial real estate lending in the state of Massachusetts. I led a team of lenders that covered the state with offices in West Springfield, Worcester, and Beverly. During my 40-year career as a commercial banker, I was educated in real estate appraisal with the Appraisal Institute. I've completed all the coursework necessary for the MAI designation. An MAI is like a PhD in the appraisal business. I also completed courses with the Mass Board of Real Estate Appraisers and completed coursework with the Realtors National Marketing Institute and their Certified Commercial Investment Member Program, and have taken a course in property management as well. Professionally, I've been in charge of appraisal and environmental policies and administration for Bay Bank, Eastern Bank, Warren Bank, and Beverly National. I was a founding officer of Bay Bank Mortgage and led the appraisal department. During my professional career, I've been directly responsible for the financing of well over $1 billion in commercial and residential real estate loans. Thank you for your consideration and time and service as leaders of our town. I don't know if questions, or is that later?
Any questions for Nick?
Nick, can you elaborate a little more on the appraisal side? Did you work with appraisals, or you just took the course?
I functioned as the staff appraiser for Bay Bank while I was there, and then established policies and oversaw the process. I led a team of 10 real estate appraisers at Bay Bank Mortgage. And then I experienced in my career the evolution of valuing real estate in the banking business. When I first started, it was simply the loan officer signed a piece of paper and said the piece of property was worth X amount. And then over the years, regulation came into place, and who we hired and what the process was became very important. And so as a lending officer, you had to go out and meet a customer and talk about a piece of property right there on the spot. And if you weren't able to respond to questions about value, you were handicapped from the beginnings because, of course, the property was the issue, and borrowers were interested to know whether or not their loan would go through. So if you wanted a good batting average on getting loans done, you better know what property value was. So, that's where I came from, and educating myself as an appraiser was to know what value was and is. And so I've been an appraiser and overseen the appraisal process during my whole career.
Very good. I do have one more question. Are you willing to take on a course 101 that is mandated? So if whoever's appointed to the board, you have 1 year to take this course. And I know the current members and also office staff were very adamant about it. So it's an online course. It's not difficult, but it gives you an overview of exactly what assessing does.
Yes, I'd be very willing to do that, Debbie. I'd jump into it right away and would aim to complete it as soon as possible.
Maybe they could
Perfect,
change
thank
to
you.
online?
Yeah,
That's a shame. When I got on the assessors.
I know.
I think that's a shame that it's online. I'm just gonna say that publicly.
Oh,
It's just not the
it's
same.
As classroom.
Classroom is a
Yeah,
classroom,
yeah,
and
exactly.
online's
I
online.
don't disagree.
Maybe I'm old, but that,
No, I'm with you, Jeff, yeah.
All right. Anything else for Nick? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Natalie,
Thank
would
you,
you
Nick.
Thank you.
come up?
Hi, Natalie.
Hi,
Welcome.
thank you for having me. So I'm Natalie Lovett. I currently work in public administration for the town of Rowley, and I also have a background in urban planning. I was interested in the vacancy on the Board of Assessors because while I haven't been a professional assessor or appraiser, I am really interested in learning more about it, and I also have a very good background of the framework, having worked in municipality and how it fits into the broader finances of the town. A few years ago, I filed for an abatement on my own property, and working through that process, I was just really interested in how assessments are set and the different factors that go into determining a fair valuation. So when I saw the seat was open, I thought it could be a good opportunity for me to contribute my skills, to continue learning more about assessing, and also to contribute to the community.
Any questions?
I don't,
I
thank
have
you.
a statement.
Yeah.
Natalie, no one wakes up on any God-given day and says, oh, I think I'll be an assessor today. Doesn't work like that. You fall into it.
Yeah.
And thank you for putting your hat into the ring. It's
Thank
very
you.
important. And your background, having already the municipal side is important too.
and you'd be willing to take the course if,
Yes, I am aware of the Course 101. I have the time to be able to start that right away. In addition, just kind of elaborating on my urban planning background, I do have, while I don't have direct experience with appraisals, I have worked on like building reuse studies and corridor revitalization studies. So there is a little bit of kind of highest and best use involved in that work.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to both for volunteering, since we only have one position to fill. One of you won't be appointed, but we have other vacancies in other boards and committees. So if you are not appointed to this one and are interested in one of the other openings, please consider that.
Absolutely.
At this point, I would ask that both candidates' names be put in nomination.
I'll move that Nicholas Halides and Natalie Levitt be put into nomination for the position.
I'll second.
Okay, now, Debbie?
It's a tough, my vote would go to Nick due to the appraisal background and the banking. Assessing has all to do with valuations, and it's vitally important year-round. It's not just part-time, it's year-round. So Natalie, thank you. And you never know, and there's other committees and stuff that your expertise would definitely put such a stamp on. So please don't stop looking at the bank, at the talent bank. Nick is my vote.
All right, Tula?
Yeah, this is really tough, and I'm very happy that both of you have applied. Nick has the appraisal. Natalie has the municipal, so she understands like how things work within the departments, I think. It's really tough, but I have to say that the appraisal aspect of it would be a big contribution to the board. So I would have to, my vote would have to be to Nick.
Rick?
Yeah, thank you to both, present such, professional backgrounds that you have. I think either one of you would do fine with it. But in this instance, where the experience of the assessing is on the side of Nick, my vote will go to Nick.
Jeff?
Yeah, thank you to both of you. It is a tough choice. For the reasons that have been stated, I would also say we're lucky to get somebody with that experience, and I would vote for Nick.
When my first involvement in Middleton government was being on the Board of Assessors. And I think, what and I was appointed, to fill an unexpired term, and what I think attracted the Select Board and the Board of Assessors at that time to appoint me is that I had a background in commercial real estate.
That's right.
And that is always something that is a need on a Board of Assessors because they're kind of unique properties. And Nick's experience in that world, I think, will be a valuable asset. I think it needed more than an experience in municipal government and how that works, because the other two members of the Board of Assessors already possess that to a great degree. So my vote also goes to Nick. So Nick, you have the appointment. Please, see the town clerk to be sworn in, and I'm sure they will be in touch with you as to the next meeting of the Board of Assessors. So once again, thank you to both of you.
Thank you both.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you. Congratulations.
All right. So Tula, if you'd like to adjourn your Board of
So I
Assessors
need a
meeting.
motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn Board of Assessors.
And at 5:49?
I got 5:53, but we can split it, right, Nick?
Split it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Our next,
Dismiss.
Yes. Enjoy your night.
our next agenda item is a Brigadoon tree removal and sidewalk repair plan from Superintendent Paul Goodwin. Back about 6 or 7 weeks ago, the select board had done a site walk in Brigadoon with Paul and Justin to look at the conditions of the sidewalks. And we had asked Paul to come up with a plan to remove trees that presented a danger to the sidewalks because of their primarily root systems, and to repair the impacted sidewalks. So given that direction, Paul has put together a plan that he'll review with us now. So Paul, I turn it over to you.
Thank you. So as was just said, this has been a long, not to give too much of a background, but this has been a long, ongoing process in town. A lot of issues with this neighborhood, so we did walk the neighborhood once. I walked it twice myself, and there's a lot of imperfections in the area, a lot. But basically what I tried to do is find the balance of finding the worst spots and making it safer for pedestrian travel. And there's many, but the worst areas would involve removing up to 18 trees and removing the stumps and fixing the roots that are uplifting the sidewalk. And I did, for all the residents could see, I did put big, round, white circles in the sidewalk and also on the trees a couple weeks ago, and I was surprised at the lack of people that called about it, but it's been an ongoing issue. We're trying to address it. It's not going to be perfect. The other imperfections, we're going to try to just overlay and make them a little bit better. It still won't be perfect, but it will be safer. We get significant complaints from this neighborhood about this and others in town. And it's the unfortunate issue of having tree-lined streets. When you put the tree and the grass strip between the sidewalk and the road, these things happen. It's an issue with a lot of communities.
And these are the trees that are causing problems now,
These are the worst ones.
the worst ones.
Yes.
You know, a few years down the line, there will be others that will be the worst ones.
Correct.
Okay, so it doesn't globally solve the problem forever. It
No.
makes things better for now.
It makes things better. There are some spots of that sidewalk. You know, I was actually pleasantly surprised at how much, there was a lot of good parts of the sidewalk, but most of them were where there weren't not any trees, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think Justin mentioned to us something about offering replacement trees. Can you talk about that?
That will need to be decided. I know, back in 2019, right before COVID, we had a similar hearing as we're doing right now about that, and we did offer that, and we had sent out a survey for a lot of the residents that filled out. And most of them, at that time, were in favor of removing the trees and getting a tree, but on their property, not
So it won't happen
Not on
again,
the
right?
sidewalk.
It'll be an ornamental thing, not to be too big and things like that. That can be discussed, I'm sure.
Do you have an estimate for the cost of the work that you've put on your sketch?
I don't, because I put in an estimate last time, and it took quite a while, and I wasn't sure what path we're gonna take, so to be honest with you, I didn't wanna quote-unquote waste that time. I know to do the entire neighborhood would have been about $250,000 to $300,000. So I would say this is gonna be significantly less than that, and some of it we may do in-house, be good work for the crew to do some of it, like I was already talking to a contractor today. Obviously, we can't take the trees down, but maybe he preps the site and we pave it, things like that, try to save a little bit of money, so.
And do you know the cost of a tree? Yeah.
A replacement tree.
I don't, I would say probably at least a few $100s, it depends on the size.
And who would
If you
plant
go-
the replacement tree? Would you do it or outsource it?
I would prefer not to have us do it, just because we don't do that stuff for a living. You know, so I'd probably outsource it, but we could, I mean, it's not rocket science.
Okay. We had one email on this issue.
Positive.
Yeah, from Cindy Polignon at 24 Meadow Drive. She writes, "I'm so happy this issue is finally being addressed. I was able to catch the two town gentlemen marking the trees during their visit a few weeks back. Unfortunately, the tree sidewalk located in front of my property is in fact one marked for removal repair. And she's in favor of the proposed project. I know there's at least two Brigadoon residents in the audience, so would you care to make any statement?
Well, you know, as a 50-year resident, I've been following this saga since, I think, 2007, when it first came up. And the damage to the sidewalks, Paul saw when he was going around, is evident. It's trying to strike a balance between, you know, making the sidewalk safe and not making the neighborhood look like a parking lot. And that's always been a challenge. I know you were doing some due diligence, marking the trees and particularly the sidewalk areas that you thought were most impacted. There, well, just as an example, my neighbor across the street, elderly by herself, every Halloween, I go over with the caution tape and all the way around from her driveway to the fence on one side, from her driveway to the fence on the other side, so that nobody tries to, in the dark, maneuver that section of walkway, because it's just that bad. So, I mean, that's kind of an example of what you're dealing with, and it's been kicked down the road now for at least 18 years. Something really needs to be done. The issue is how much, where, and again, trying to do it without making Brigadoon look like Home Depot parking lot.
That's part of the reason, of the replacement trees, right?
Right.
Now, how much of this project can be paid for from Chapter 90 monies?
A lot of it, it has to be presented appropriately, because they're not huge on the mix and match projects, the piece here, piece there. They like the whole projects, but I can try to word it properly and see what we can do.
Okay.
What about those funds? We got some funds from the state, right? Some extra funds?
It works the same way as Chapter 90 does.
Works the same way?
It's still Chapter 90 money,
Okay.
so.
Those kind of funds come in handy for something like this.
And replacement trees, can they be paid for from that?
Probably no. One of the questions they ask you when you apply for Chapter 90 is, are there going to be any trees removed? And if you say yes to that question, you have to say, did you go through the proper channels, yada, yada, yada. There's no, I can look into it, but I would venture to say no. But the town does, as you guys know, put 150 towards additional Chapter 90 per year, so we could use that pool of money for
Okay.
it.
All right.
And we're committed, that's a definite on the offering replacement trees? Does that need a vote, or is that?
No.
That's a definite, right?
I mean,
I think,
yes.
we'll take a formal vote on the whole thing.
Okay, and that's part of it.
Yeah, that'll be
As long as
part of
that's
it.
part of it.
Yeah, you can, in fact, you can make the specific motion.
So it looks like each part that you've highlighted, except for the one at the bottom of Fuller, affects one individual address. As I look at it may be more than one tree in one spot, but it looks like it's one dwelling in each, except for the bottom of Fuller.
Yeah, the bottom Fuller was, we did remove a couple trees there a couple years ago because it was affecting that gentleman's septic system.
Oh,
So that's why that part is all beat up with no trees there already.
right.
The part that gentleman referred to is probably the worst spot in the whole neighborhood, in my opinion. I did get a phone call today about a person wanted a tree moved in front of his home that doesn't really affect the sidewalk, but we can address that separately with that individual, because certain people wanted, most of those trees are invasive Norway maples, so they're not too pretty to look at as a general rule. But I understand the fact that, I think there's 66 trees total, and this is only gonna be 17, so it's not quite as much of a whack to the neighborhood.
Right.
To be totally transparent, there is one tree near 4 Fuller that is just leaning that we're gonna remove because it's a hazard, just because it's leaning.
Right.
I think you probably know the one I'm talking about. And also, there is one spot at 12 Meadow that's not a tree, but there's a big dip in the sidewalk. That needs to be raised up and graded, so that will be another spot that we'll take care of.
So in addition to the items you've highlighted that were the worst, will there be other areas that you're gonna wanna not remove trees and just kind of overlay, did you mention?
Yeah, well,
Would that be
we,
part of this, or would that be another phase?
Yeah, we'll try to do it after this part.
Yeah.
Try to reassess and go, okay, what's really bad? When we did that a few years ago, we tried to and it's definitely not a permanent fix. They're already starting to crack through, but it does take away the tripping hazard, so to speak. It does, make the grade a little bit better to walk, but it's definitely not a permanent fix. But we will look to go do that with our own employee forces to make it even better, more improvements.
Where you can,
Where we can.
yeah.
Are you confident that this can be done before winter?
It all depends on the process I go through to expedite and pay for it. The good thing is, we do have a contractor under contract that can do this kind of work. It's not the guy that does our road work, this is too small for them. But he can at least prep it for us, and if we pave it, So I'm rather confident. I'm sure the residents of Brigadoon will like it done before Halloween, since that's a big, big time around. We'll shoot for that. I'm not going to make a promise, though.
I agree with, let the folks, if they want a tree, that they're effective. We provide a tree and we prefer that they put it where they want on their property.
In the front,
Which
though.
would have, it would have, and it would preclude us from having, if that were the case, then maybe we were off the hook for doing all of them, put it
Yeah,
that
and
way.
as Costa pointed out, this will be an issue down the road with other trees, but this, again, I don't think anybody wants entire clear cut of 66 trees, but this will help the problem.
Yeah.
And just to add one question actually to that, in some cases, and I'm talking primarily sidewalk, in some cases, this literally goes back to 2008, when after Edgewood and Overbrook were done and the rest of the project got canceled for the rest of Brigadoon, the aprons for the driveways were temporary. And every winter, another chunk goes into my snow blower to the point where my apron is just about at the, the gutter of the street now. It hasn't affected the majority of people because since then, the majority of people have paved their driveways and taken it right to the street. But those of us who haven't, I've hurt my back more times with a shovel because I'm shoveling and then all of a sudden I hit a chunk of hot top that's coming up, and I just to throw it out there, if we're doing sidewalks, would any of that be looked at in the areas, the handful of people that probably have really bad ones?
I personally have not looked into that at that time. I know you and I discussed that a couple of years back.
Yeah.
But this project is just focused on the tree area with the heaviest damages, but
Just to throw it out there, 'cause it's one of those long forgotten things like the whole rest of the project.
thank you for the reminder.
Any other questions or comments? Yes.
Sorry, go
I should know the answer, but I'm catching up. So the replacement of the trees as needed, and the sidewalk will be patched, obviously what's needed. Is the whole sidewalk going to be done as one piece or just patches where it's?
Just patches. Just patches. It's, again, definitely not a perfect solution, but an improvement almost there.
But not like round patches in the middle of a sidewalk. It'll be lawn to lawn and, right?
Sections.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it won't be like a little
half width and
patchwork.
then-
It'll be, it'll be so many feet of,
It'll be a stretch from like Jeff to
yeah,
myself kind of.
yeah.
Really affect us and just because of a couple of things. And the neighbor literally did the whole sidewalk himself, again, a bunch of years ago. So there's all kinds of patchwork going on.
Yes.
But I do understand the expense of trying to do the whole thing.
And I thought you said some of them you'll actually have to cut out some roots after you remove the tree.
My plan is all the trees that get removed, the roots will be removed
You
as
will
well.
cut, yeah,
Yes, it would be, quite frankly, not worth it to do that.
What about lawn work where the trees are removed, seed and loam and,
Yeah, I'm not expecting a lot of that, other than that fill-in area I told you about. That's going to be significant there.
but where the trees, are you gonna grind the stumps or pull
I
the
think, I'm
stumps?
going to try to pull them out, because when they grind them, sometimes they settle, the next thing you know, 2 years from now, it's settling again. Wherever I can, I'm going to try to pull them out.
And then would you loam and seed the area?
Yeah, if we disturb the grass, we'll loam and seed it, yes. That would be
So
fine.
if you pull, like, if the roots go pretty far, there might be quite on the other side of the sidewalk in
Yep.
people's front yard, you're gonna rip out, so that would be repaired, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, whatever we disturb, we'll fix.
Then you don't know what people put irrigation systems in, you'll have to,
Yeah, that's going to be the tricky part, is
Yeah.
calling dig safe, stuff like that, so. And
that
there
wouldn't
are
be on dig
irrigation.
safe and irrigation.
One person actually had irrigation, the roots were lifting up his irrigation in the grass strip.
Yeah.
So one of these days, it's going to go.
It'll only be a small retaining wall.
Right.
Easy breezy,
Would
right?
you look at any other trees too that you think are, you said the one lean in?
One lean
But
in,
that there might be residents that, for one reason or another,
actually the
the
resident
old trees are causing them a problem?
that wrote that letter, I spoke with her, and hers actually probably wasn't one of the worst spots, but she insisted that she wanted it fixed and the tree gone in that spot, so we marked it.
Because you might generate some more requests. as
Oh,
we
I'm
go.
sure.
That could be phase 2. All
I
right.
think this is a good start. Again, it's not perfect, but it's a good start.
Right. Is there A motion, Jeff.
I'll make a motion to approve the plan as presented, including that anyone who has a tree removed in front of their house is offered the opportunity for a replacement tree in their front yard if they want it. They're not required to accept it, but they have the opportunity.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Thank you, Paul.
so,
Paul, while we have you here, that extra Chapter 90 money that we got,
Yes.
any plans, specific plans for that?
Not specific yet, because I wasn't aware of it until very recently. This pool of money does have, it's specifically called RAP, Winter Recovery Money. We got it a couple years ago too. They try to focus on what was damaged by snow, but you don't have to do that. It's even eligible for overtime with snow if need be.
And the amount, if I forget, what was the amount?
168, 163, something like that. Do you remember exactly? Something like that.
Yeah, okay.
So the good news is our Chapter 90 has gone up since I've been there, from like 310 to like 470. So that helps a lot because obviously the costs are going up as well, especially with the oil prices.
And
Not
does this
even
ever-
at an offset yet, Paul.
No. But contrary to some popular belief, the roads in Middleton are generally in pretty good shape.
I am going to make a comment on that. All the roads that I travel, Middleton has the best roads that I've traveled on the North Shore, and it's quite a few.
Well, thank you, but
Thank
that's a
you.
team-wide effort, with the
And
exception of the
it's the
topic we're going to talk
taxpayers.
about next.
supporting money, additional money beyond, the state grant. So we'll segue to
Well,
the,
let me finish up on this if I may. So is there a time limit to use this money or not?
This pool of money has to be used by next July 1st. So the usual chunk of money, 410,000, give or take, that carries over, but this particular section of money has to be used by July 1st.
Do you have any
So-
ideas at all for it? or-
What I'll do is the payment I already have planned, I'll use that money first.
Okay,
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we'll get rid of that first, then we have the rest of the money to use after.
okay. I mean, if you do come up with a new project for it, if you'd let us know.
As of now, the project is, I always forget the name of this neighborhood. Liberty Hills off of Essex Street, Watkins, Wallen.
Yeah,
That's going to be the next roads we're going to do.
okay,
So as of now.
thanks.
so you wanted to discuss unaccepted roads.
Yeah, so more specifically, they're called private roads maintained by the town. I'll be honest with you, I hate that terminology because we have about 50 of them. And basically, in a nutshell, what that means is we keep them passable for a fire truck, ambulance, police car, stuff like that. But we can't spend Chapter 90 funds on those to fix them. So we basically do as little as possible to keep it passable. What's happened is now they're all starting to erode. And I've heard from a few residents lately of a couple roads, Gates, Kenny, mostly from Liberty in about 300 feet. There's another one too. Old Forest, of course, Randall. And there's a process to go through to get the town to spend certain funds on that. And if you guys remember, a couple of years before I got it, they did it to Old 100 Lane back in 2016. Basically per the town code, chapter 206, section 8, basically says the process to go through. So I've met with the folks from Gates. They did the first process, which is basically sign a petition. Everybody on the street signs. I met with them individually. We talked about it, how much it was going to cost, blah, blah, blah. And I told the next step was to approach you guys and say, okay, I want to put this on the town warrant for next May. That's why I wanted to give you a heads up, because this is going to be coming down the pike for at least from Gates, possibly from Kenny, and possibly from Randall. So all these roads are getting older, and they're all starting to decay, and we only do minimal work on them. Like, for instance, Kenny Road, the end of that, we have to do something more than just patching it, because
The
it's
whole Kenny
really
Road
bad.
is not a public,
From Devonshire to Liberty,
oh, okay.
half of it.
Yeah,
And the part just at the end towards Liberty, if you travel that, if anyone here on this road was travel, it's really bad. It's to the point where we won't be able to plow it next one if we don't do something.
So, with those, you plow them, but you don't pave them.
We plow them, we patch them. When the chiefs come up to me and say, we can't get our machines down there, you gotta go put some hot top in those holes, we do it.
They cut.
You know, and actually, believe it or not, we're out patching using our hot box. Those are the spots we go to, okay, we got a couple wheelbarrows left at the end of the day, let's go put it on Gates Road and Kenny Road and places like that. But that doesn't last. You know, you get maybe a season out of it, that's about it.
It's in a condition that's close to being something that has the right catch, like, is there a requirement, it has to have certain catch basins and certain things?
Well, this, I want to make it clear, this won't make the road accepted. This will just make the road better to pass.
Oh, so it's a one-time thing to.
Correct, and I told them that they'd have to go through that process after this, okay? Gates is, I'm not gonna get the footage exactly right, but from Forest in about 800 feet is not accepted, but the rest of it is. So in my opinion, that whole road should be reclaimed, ground and everything from scratch. And I went over the pricing with the residents, to be honest with you, all the roads I've spoken to, the residents, they've all been very understanding, very appreciative of the effort, so. So that's that. So it's coming down the pike for the least Gates and probably Kenny, possibly Randall, so just be prepared for that.
Okay, so that was what you wanted to tell us, right? Or do you want,
That's basically what I wanted to tell you. You know, it's, because like I said, these roads are all gonna start failing at once, and since we can't spend a certain amount of dollars on them, the way to do it correctly is to go through the process that Old 100 did a few years back. So that will probably be more than once every 10 years now, is what I'm trying to say.
okay,
So Paul, are you recommending that we may select, like, you select a couple of the worse off roads? And then we have it ready for the town warrant article for the ATM next year?
Yeah, but the way the code is written, our residents are
They gotta chip in.
responsible
Right,
for saying,
that's-
hey, they wrote me a letter, I have them in here, you know, hey, Paul, wish the town would do this, blah, blah, blah. You know, what's the process going through it? I explained it to them, and
Is
basically,
50/50, they pay half, is that what it is?
50/50, yeah, so basically in Gates, believe it or not, would not be a lot of money for each resident, because remember, it's only half of it.
Yeah.
So it's only 25% basically. It all depends on what needs to be done. I mean, a 1-inch overlay is one thing, that's X dollars, but a total reclaim, grinding, grading is X dollars times
On
5.
Gates, would only the people chip in that have frontage on the private part, or would the whole street chip in on
It'd be
it?
everybody, and every resident is on board with possibly the exception of one.
And so the residents that don't have some residents here you said have frontage on an accepted part of road, right? So they would even be chipping in?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep. And it's not up to me or the town
Yeah.
to chase the residents chipping in. That's not up to us at all.
So it's up to them, so if, let's say you had a road and 3/4 of the people want to chip in, it's in a quarter don't, it's up to the 3/4 that want to chip in to come up with extra if they
Yep.
want to?
The code says at least 2/3 have to write a letter, say, we want something done on this road beyond patching.
So what happens if 2/3 of them want to do it? Are the 1/3 that didn't sign up, are they obligated to pay if or not?
That's not my problem, as long as we get the portion that we want. Because if I don't want to be in the business, you guys don't want me in the business of chasing down people to write a check.
That's right.
That's for sure.
so yeah, if it's $100,000 fix, the residents pay 50.
Correct.
Right.
The town pays 50. How the resident 50 is split is really up to the resident.
Correct.
One resident can write the whole check, unlikely.
Yeah.
But is the resident ever forced, that doesn't want it, ever forced to chip in, or they're not?
I don't know. Again, I've never been through this process. This is kind of unique. Private roads maintained by the town.
Yeah.
I'm either a private road guy or a public road guy. But I know, again, referring back to what happened at Old 100, that's what the town did. So it's kind of a precedent, if you will. I don't know if one time's a precedent, but, and it's not a bad way to do it. And I was, you know, pleasantly surprised how the residents reacted to it. They were pretty much all on board with it, so.
Right?
Okay, so we'll watch out for
I
it.
look forward to it, yeah.
Just, I'd like to give you guys a heads up of stuff like that.
Great.
Somewhere, somebody's holding paper, booking page on these roads.
Yeah, it's been a little,
I'm just,
Listen, no,
that's
it's
fine, just.
we have
like-
48 roads that fit this category. Some of it's like literally to like telephone pole Y, you know.
But it's gotta be, right? Because
Yeah, and it's-
residents don't own it, we don't own it, so somebody's holding paper on it.
So private road maintained by the town, the residents have to allow people to, all of us can drive down the street. It's not a private road.
That's right.
Okay,
If I may just add a couple of things that aren't on the agenda, I want to take 2 seconds.
Right.
One thing we may want to consider too is, we have a at least one unaccepted subdivision that we maintain and plow. I personally don't think that's a good idea. So,
We haven't accepted the roadway in the
correct.
subdivision?
And we plow it and everything.
Can you share what it
How'd
is?
that happen?
Which one is it?
Eddington and Bishop.
That's a long time.
Long time, well before I got here.
It's gonna be about 30 years.
Why didn't go through the process of acceptance, I don't know. Now, I talked to Justin a little bit about this. I mean, I don't want to leave the people out in the cold, but maybe a thought is, and I'm sure I'm not going to make a lot of friends up in that neighborhood by saying this, but maybe give them a couple of years, hey, go through the process to get accepted the proper way, because, I mean, the roads aren't terrible, so it shouldn't take that much of a deal to do it. You know,
Shouldn't there have been a bond held by the from the developer
it was
until?
before I got here, I don't know what
Right, I
happened.
understand.
So I can tell you that if I'm not mistaken, that developer's still around.
I believe so, I've heard that, yes.
I mean, I'm not gonna
Hi, Jill.
name names or anything, but I'm
So, I
pretty
mean,
sure.
at one point, the developer was plowing the road
I
and
believe so.
charging the residents.
That's what I've heard, I don't know for a fact.
But it's not
But now we
listed.
plow it.
The deeds aren't an HOA or a homeowners
No.
association.
And a lot of the residents I speak to up there, you know, to their defense, they're unaware of this. you
Right.
know, but-
Okay,
So the best thing is to get, to start to get it through the process and.
Right. I'd strongly encourage that. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna leave them out in the cold, literally.
Right.
You know,
In the
December and
process,
say,
when you got it, it's hard because, like, if you would have went out and inspected it 2 years after it was built and everything, the catch basins are straight and perfect and everything's fine. So if we're gonna expect it, you're gonna go out and look at 30-year-old infrastructure and.
Right.
And say, if you were gonna accept this, this needs to be.
Need to do this,
This can be.
you need to jet the
who's gonna
drainage
pay for
system or
that,
whatever,
right.
yeah.
That's gonna be a challenge.
it is, you know, but I don't, it's not fair in my opinion.
Right, I agree with
You know
you
what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
So,
okay.
We should work to do whatever we can to.
sorry to be the bearer of bad news about all this stuff.
Right,
but-
we have more bad news?
Yeah, this, in my opinion, and I'm just gonna say it quickly, I'm not gonna get into it deep because it's not the proper venue right now. Justin and I's meeting today, just put an exclamation point on this. Available water is gonna be a humongous issue for this town. It's an issue for the entire North Shore, but this town especially. Between our IMA with Danvers, our lack of irrigation bylaws, our DEP withdrawal permits, et cetera, it's gonna be a humongous issue. Really big.
Yeah, and I think the real issue for the watershed is the fact that water leaves it and is not returned. So Danvers is on sewer.
Correct.
They take water, use it, pump it out into the ocean. And there will be a problem in this watershed as long as the users of the watershed are allowed to dispose of their water in the ocean instead of putting it back into the watershed. It is, it's not a matter of usage, it's a matter of replenishment after you use it. And we have to get there, otherwise we'll never solve the problem.
Mr. Chair, could I advise putting this on a future agenda so we can have a more broad conversation on the topic? But I agree with Mr. Goodwin's heads up interpretation. I think coming down the road is something pretty significant relative to the future of development in town. And it's really hanging on the availability or lack thereof of water.
Okay.
Thank you for
We're not
putting
the
it
only
on
two
our
here.
radar.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it to our attention.
You're welcome.
Any more bad news?
No, that's it. That's it.
Okay,
How's PFAS? You wanna get into
I
that?
won't even bring that one up.
all right, thank you, Paul.
Thanks for coming
Thank
in.
you all.
Paul, thank you.
All right, yeah, next we have an application or an entertainment license by Ferncroft Country Club Members Lounge and Pool, 8 to 10 Village Road.
Oh, good evening. Wow, it's wet out, by the way.
Save some of the water.
Oh, my God.
Half
of us came in just right now, yep. That's why I'm a little soggy. So, good evening, Jill Mann here on behalf of Ferncroft Country Club, in connection with, as the chair said, an entertainment license at the property. Here with me this evening is the general manager of the club, Steve Core, and one of the owners of the club, Dylan Binney. We went through all of the issues with regard to the change of the seasonal license to an annual license, because this ownership group is trying to improve the club and to actually make it more amenable to owners and more year-round, and make it a country club versus a golf club, more or less. We do have an entertainment license to conduct activities outside. It began prior to even, remember when we did, I know you were on the board, Rick, I think you, weren't you on the board, Mr. Batakis, when we did the Red Lobsters and we had to, no?
No, that was
Okay,
before
so
my
that
time.
even predated you. Well, so we had done a big entertainment license relative to the seasonal permit for this whole area. And then we kept renewing it because we had a lot of activity relative to the tennis courts and then around that area, and then the pool as well. So because we're going from the seasonal to an annual, pursuant to the request by the board, we were back here to ask for an expansion of our entertainment license to also cover an annual basis, and then to provide for the hours, because if you remember, there was some consternation relative to that.
The facility that you have functions in, non-member functions, that has an entertainment license.
Yeah, we have the entertainment license for the entire place, yes. And that has a full entertainment license because that is where the other annual permit lies, yes.
So this entertainment license is just for the pool and members?
Separate and apart, yes, exactly. So with this, notwithstanding that, we've always had certain events out here because we do have, we allow people to come and have events. And the event that actually was going on where there was a complaint wasn't in this area. It was in the area where we have the annual license now. It was all the way over behind the, what is that building called? I always forget the clubhouse, the main clubhouse. I apologize. So, you know, when you drive into, I'm just going to give you a visual. You know, when you drive into the Ferncroft, and on the side is where the pool is and where that little house is and where the tennis courts are. You go straight, you hit a cul-de-sac, that's the main clubhouse. That's where the activity was going on that people could hear. So I did bring you just an overhead so you could see the area, may I?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just a display, and I'm going to talk about it after I give it to you.
Thank you.
And if anybody, I don't know, is anybody here for that? Because I do have copies if they want to see them.
Thanks.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Don't get a paper cut. So what you're looking at is, where would Paul have the camera?
They're all in the sky now.
Yeah.
Joe. We're high tech now.
Pick one.
All right, Paul, find me.
He'll move
So
it,
this
yeah.
is,
He'll
this
find
right
you.
here, this lollipop is Augusta Way. This area right here is where there were complaints relative to the noise. This is called Country Club Lane. Just so you understand, just to give you a general interpretation, the distance from where we have the pool to Country Club is 260 feet, property line to property line. The distance from the pool to Country Club, property line to property line, not house to house, but property line to property, is 760 feet. Just giving you a visual for what it is. So this is the area right here that we would be having entertainment. You know, in a pretty predominantly indoor on the pool deck area. Am I correct, Dylan? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what we did request, and I have to ask Ms. Bresnahan, I had forgotten to include, you know how we're supposed to have like a little asterisk for New Year's Eve? I forgot to do that in the application. So I just wanted you to know. So I had put in hours for the application, and I requested interior and exterior hours, and that's what you see listed. But I did omit New Year's Eve, and I apologize. I omitted New Year's Eve. And it wasn't on the other licenses either, but I know that in practice it is on something that's internal to the town, because you can see it on our liquor license. So I would ask, obviously, that on New Year's Eve, we're entitled to 1 o'clock, although I don't know anybody who's going to be out at 1 o'clock in the freezing cold, but, you know.
So for indoor or outdoor or both?
So I mean, for New Year's Eve.
We're not doing an outdoor.
Yeah.
It's indoor. This is for both, so I had to list both. That's why I say it. So that's why I said nobody's doing it here outdoors.
I wouldn't think so.
No, but I just wanted to make sure I did that. I actually said that during the public hearing process because I know that you need to vote on that for New Year's as well. So that would be till 1 o'clock indoor on New Year's Eve.
Mr. Chair, when you take the motion, if you could be sure to include that if it's something you're willing to approve, and I'll amend the license that we had prepared, if that's the will of the board.
For your outdoor hours,
Yes.
would you be willing to consider 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.?
So here's the issue for the 9 a.m. TVs constitute outdoor entertainment, and I'm not so sure that the pool doesn't have like a little TV area because of the kids. And so that would be an issue because we couldn't turn the TVs on and the kids get there for camp. As far as the 9 p.m. hour, we asked for 10 because quite frankly, that's what the current hours are now. So I would have to ask Mr. Binney to speak to that, but we really do typically have it till 10. And I just kind of bring up that we are not that close to residential uses. I grasp the issues, and if there's ever a complaint from a butter, all needs to happen is to come over and ask us to take effect or do something, and we would. This is the first time we've ever heard a complaint, but the person who complained was over 1,400 feet away.
So
I don't know what, I don't know.
it's, being like out on the pool deck, having music in the background, if it's at a volume that you can speak with your neighbor in a normal, it's very pleasant. It is, but it is hard to control something by volume.
I know.
So it's the hours that you can impact, and that's why I had suggested the 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So you're saying the kids' camp starts at 8?
Oh yeah, I think what
So
time does it start?
it's not so much the morning hours that I think we would have a difficulty with, but, the difficulty of pushing from 10 to 9 p.m. is that we won't be able to do a second seating. You can't sit somebody at 8 o'clock, because your typical dinner is hour and a half, 2 hours. It'll stretch well past that time period. So
Outdoors or indoors, sorry?
He's talking.
Outdoors.
Okay.
So,
we have outdoor seating on the back deck of the pool.
well, you're not trying to legislate the outdoor seating, right? You just want to control the entertainment. So it doesn't stop you from having that at all.
Well,
But I get
understand,
it.
but
I
they
just
are-
want to make sure you knew
They are
that.
related.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that, I don't know how to control something like this because literally for, 40 years since the lobsters, it's 30 years. So for 30 years, they've been doing this until 10 o'clock.
Well, what I suggested in terms of outdoor hours was my feeling. I don't speak for anybody else on the board, so I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
I'm fine with the 10 p.m. Maybe the 9 a.m. I think makes more sense to me. I'd be fine, I think, with the 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. personally.
I personally don't have a problem with the hours that you're proposing. Number one, it makes sense for the second seating, for the dinner plating, number one. Number two, that is a traditional hour. I can't sit here and think of any other restaurant anywhere that has to stop at 9 o'clock. Our sidewalks roll up early, but that would be, I think it would be a little bit of a hinder to the corporation. And I'm on board with what this new ownership is doing over there, and I would not want to hinder that. So I'm fine with the hours. I have no problem.
Well, I mean, my only concern is the venue controls all the volume there except for live music. Now, you can verbally tell them to quiet down, but having been involved in it, ultimately having a venue having control over live music volume can be an issue. I mean, I like to say live music to 9 o'clock, but I don't know how reasonable that is, so I would agree with Coster with 9 o'clock.
This is not a public hearing, but if there's anyone in the audience that likes to make a short comment, I will allow it. Okay. So, where do we go from here?
I guess my big concern is that literally is what it is now. And the other parts of the club are open like that, and I mean, it does create issues for us, because when you say you have to shut down at 9, you know what that means. You really have to shut down at 8:30 to get the process done. And literally the entire neighborhood can have parties whenever they want and do whatever they want, because there is no ordinance before. I don't even know. Mr. Casiotis, is there even a noise ordinance when people have to stop?
Yeah, I believe we do have.
Depends, when they complain, hopefully they go to the venue and the venue cooperates, which it seems
And we
like you're
would.
perfectly willing to do. Outside of that, whether it's, incessant complaining, or perhaps they're just not satisfied, I hope they would call the police, and then we can get that solved.
So let me ask you.
That should solve
If
it.
this would address your concerns. So if we were to allow the entertainment license to be open as requested, right? And then to the extent there are verifiable and reasonable complaints, like somebody actually really did have a complaint and the police were called and it was bad. If we have those and we don't address it, then come back in and address the entertainment hours. And the only reason I'm saying that is because it really is crucial to this enhanced development that they're trying to do to be able to serve the needs of the members. So if we're violating and we're becoming a bad neighbor, then we'll come back to you.
What
But
about
we're
if we
not-
made the indoor till 10 and the outdoor till 9?
Well, the indoor is till midnight.
10
Till midnight,
Yeah.
okay, so the indoor, you're all set with it, it's just the
I mean,
outdoor.
there's nobody complains about the indoor.
Right,
That's why the January 30, December 31st would be till 1. Nothing permeates the doors, the walls. It's more the outdoor use. And again, it's currently like that.
how many chairs or tables do you have for outdoor dining?
I was just there.
Yeah, it's about
30?
seats.
30?
It's a little less, but because of the pool area where you can actually go, it's about 30. Just consider it about that amount. But could we actually, I guess, I hate to say a test drive, but I think that they would be exceptional business owners, and I think they would be
And this entertainment license, it will get renewed for next year. So if there are issues between now and the renewal, we may
Have to address
yes,
this.
the hours on the renewal.
Mr. Chair, if I may, on the language of the license under the statute of Mass General Law, you have opportunity at any of your meetings to revoke, suspend, or amend the license.
Yeah, you do. If we violated it, you do.
But
Or,
it-
and
Or if
not,
we've
not
been
even,
bad
respectfully,
neighbors.
Attorney Mann, not even if you violated it, they have the right to amend it at any time.
Right, you have to.
In a publicly posted meeting, they have the right to
It
amend.
wouldn't be a technical violation of what's written here if it was too loud. So it wouldn't be a violation.
It would be up to this board to determine if you
right, to your
considered
point. I'm
that such a
talking to your point.
violation.
Right,
It's
to your
it's
point.
your jurisdiction.
Right, I'm talking to your
Okay.
point.
So,
I'm sorry, my only concern is the live entertainment, because that's not so easy to control. You don't have to send the people home at, after 9 o'clock, but I don't know that we can do that with the
Well,
license.
The license specifies at this time that there's all of these different types of entertainment: live music, dancing by patrons, moving picture show, theatrical exhibition, radio, dancing, et cetera, et cetera. So if you wanted to caveat the live music as a different time frame than all of the television's recorded music, you could make that distinction. It makes enforcement harder, but that's.
Yeah, because now you're going to be like, okay, what was it? So again, I think Ms. Bresnahan's point is good. If you're getting complaints, call a meeting and change our license. If you get complaints, we are either going to address them or we need to come back to the board and have our have our entertainment license amended. I mean, we're exposed to that no matter what. It's important for us not to curtail our redevelopment at this point.
Based on that, I would be fine with the proposed hours. Right, so would somebody make a motion?
Oh, good Lord.
And include, specifically include the New Year's Eve till 1 a.m. indoors?
Yes.
Okay, I will make a motion to accept the entertainment license for Ferncroft Country Club, Members Lounge, at Pool, 8 to 10 Village Road, Middleton, Mass., under Ferncroft License Holding LLC, to include New Year's Eve till 1 a.m.
Indoor only.
Indoor only, 1 a.m., right?
Yep.
Did I get that right?
No swimming.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you,
Appreciate your time
and
very much.
we look forward to being good neighbors.
They are. Enjoy the evening. I think that the deluge of rain has stopped.
Thank God.
Just in time for departure.
All right,
Thank you. Have a good night.
good night.
See you.
Our next agenda item will be put off till our August 4th meeting. And we'll move to item 9, MSBA Fuller Meadow Roof Project Funding Agreement. Justin? Rick?
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So before you on the agenda, you have the Fuller Meadow Roof MSBA program project funding agreement. Handing in hard copy right now, Exhibit A, which was provided by MSBA. Basically, they want the select board or representative of the select board or representative of the school committee, legal counsel, as well as myself, to sign this document affirming the budget as presented. And we need to have this in place in order to start the reimbursement process while they're doing work. So as the public may recall, the Fuller Meadow School is looking to do a pretty sizable roof replacement project, a majority of which was eligible based on its age for reimbursement from the MSBA program. A portion of it, just under $600,000 or so, was not eligible by a matter of years. But the reasoning was, since they were up doing the work and mobilized anyway, that they may as well take care of it, the modular classroom section of Fuller Meadow. So if you look at the overall breakdown on the last page, page 2 of 2, they break down the project budget coming in at about $2.3 million, backing out $592,000 and change for those ineligible items. So out of that, the reimbursement rate is 47.21% of that remainder, meaning that roughly about $750,000 is going to be reimbursed by the MSBA program for the replacement of the roof at the Fuller Meadow School. We reviewed this internally. We've had conversations with the schools. I spoke with Superintendent Morrison earlier today about this as well. We're all aligned in terms of the way the budget is broken down. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, but at this time, it seems pretty sound.
How old are the modular classroom roofs?
So I want to say it's a 25-year requirement for age, and the modulars were 22, something like that.
And they've never been, the roofs were original on them?
Yes, to the modular sections.
Now, if they were to hold off 5 years from now, could they put in for a new project and get half of it paid for the modular?
I don't know necessarily if the reimbursement rate would be the same, and it's never a guarantee, and so I think that was their reasoning, is they could run into a situation where they're gonna hold off, the work is gonna cost that much more 3 years from now, you know, at that point, you're close to a wash. And then trying to get a bid on a project that's significantly smaller, it's gonna cost you more money. I think all those factors, they wanted to just kind of rip off the Band-Aid.
Okay.
So the ineligible costs basically reduces the total reimbursement to a third from 47%.
So when the numbers were talked about at town meeting that the town was gonna have to come up with, is this in line pretty much with that?
Correct, it's within budget of what was described. Yep.
Okay. So are we need a vote to accept the,
Yes, to accept Exhibit A project budget, and to authorize the town administrator and the chair to sign but not date the document.
I'll make that motion to accept the Exhibit A project budget, Town of Middleton, Fuller Meadow School roof replacement for the town administrator and the chair to be signed but not dated.
I'll second that.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have a joint meeting with the planning board at 7, so until then, we'll take care of some other business. We have 4 annual reappointments. Unless there's an objection, I would suggest that we vote on them as one.
All right, I'll make a motion for reappointments to the Affordable Housing Trust, the Finance Committee designee through June 30th, 2028, Rich Gregorio. Board of Registrars through June 30th, 2029, Justin Bingham. Conservation Commission through June 30th, 2029, Anthony Pesci and Andrea Nelson. And Zoning Board of Appeals alternate member through June 30th, 2027, Anthony Marabito.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I recused from that vote. Because he put them together. There was one I had to recuse.
You should have,
from. I know, I know. I didn't know you were gonna put them all together.
I'm
And I
sorry.
didn't want to interrupt you.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's okay. We're good.
Next. All right, we will. Is everyone from the planning board here?
They're not posted until 7, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
So they're not here and not able to open.
Okay, so we'll go to a council on aging appointment for a term through June 30th, 2029. There is 1 seat and 4 applicants. Zina Gerolimatos, Joanne Guarini, Wendy Hovey, and Vera Skinner. Are they all 4 here? Okay, so thank you all for expressing, an interest. We'll have you come up and tell us about yourself and your interest, and we'll start in order. Zina, if you could come up.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me here tonight. I know I've been in front of you in the past because I've been involved in some town projects and committees. A few months after we moved to Middleton, I came to the COA to volunteer. I met with Jillian and Andy, and I'm happy to say that I am still faithfully arriving every week ever since. this experience has helped me understand, get a better understanding of how the COA functions, the dynamics. I've gotten to know the staff, volunteers, and many members. And I appreciate how valuable this center is to the town. Loneliness and isolation are an epidemic in this country, especially for the elderly. So how wonderful is it that we have this great organization available to seniors to help them improve their quality of life and being respectful about it. They can get out, they can come in and have lunch, play a game, participate in activities, sign up for needed services, and also, very importantly, create community and make human connections. A couple of years ago, a member came up to me and shared a family tragedy she had with me, and in the end, she said, and I quote, "The senior center saved my life," end quote. That has stayed with me. Because of my passion for the mission, my background in business management, and the knowledge I have gained about the COA, I feel that could add value to the board. I see the continued success of this center contingent on growing membership, evaluating and fine-tuning activities and services offered, and increasing the visibility to the town, amongst other things. I know that this is not easy, and it's not done overnight, but I think this is very exciting and something that I very much want to be a part of and to be able to help with anything I can do. And that's why I'm here tonight. I'm very committed. So thank you for your consideration and thank you for your time. I know it's been a long evening for you. Do you have any questions?
I do not.
I think I know everyone.
All right. Thank you, Zena.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Zena.
Thank you.
Next is Joanne. Is Joanne here?
I don't know her, so I don't know.
Were we expecting?
She was informed and she confirmed receipt.
Okay.
Are we early though? on
Yeah,
the,
we are, because we're filling in, so.
I told them 6:30, I believe, in the email. Let me double check, but I think I told them to, did I say come at 6:30? Thank you, people of the audience, I appreciate you. I told them to come at 6:30, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Well, we can just move on.
So we can hear
if
the other
she
two
comes-
and
Yeah.
hold on the vote until the 7th.
Wendy?
Yep, that works, Jeff.
Hi, good evening. My name's Wendy Hovey. I currently reside at Fuller Pond Village, and I love it there. We've been there for about 13 years. I recently fully retired. I worked for 33 years at Leahy Clinic, and then I retired once. I came back and worked per diem for a few more years, and then I finally said I was done. So up until now, I haven't made a lot of commitments, partly because my job was working second shift, and it didn't allow me to really come to meetings regularly or to be able to participate and commit myself. That's changed now because I have more availability, and I'm willing to contribute to something in the town that means something to me. I haven't participated in a lot of the programs at the COA, so I'm not as familiar with, I read the newsletter every time it comes out, and I do attend the book club with Joan, and it was through her that she recommended I come and talk to you and see if I would be appointed on the committee. So I actually don't have a whole lot of other information that I can provide for you, other than, past history and my love of the town and living in a lovely community and meeting a lot of people, which is part of why I want to branch out. I want to meet more people that I'll have things in common with. like I said, up until now, work has been work, and it hasn't allowed me to do a whole lot of other things. So that's basically my interest, is to be able to commit and help out wherever I can.
All right.
And thank you. Any questions? Comments?
No, I don't. Thank you.
All right,
Okay,
thank you. And Vera?
Oh, it's me?
Yeah.
I'm actually here for the cultural council.
Oh, because you're also listed under the Council on Aging.
You indicated both on your talent bank form.
Okay.
Okay.
Wasn't a toss-up, there's only one.
All right, so why don't you come up and talk about the Cultural Council?
Let's just get this party started.
My name is Vera Skinner. I live on 73 Boston Street. Some of you probably know my husband. He's been involved in a number of committees throughout the years. I haven't, because I've basically worked full-time, raised a family, and did the dishes when he left for a meeting. I'm interested in the Cultural Council because I was approached by Pam Hartman when we were at a group, actually the three of us, the crafters meeting, and presently I have time on my hands to do something different. And I don't know, I worked at the school at Essex Tech for 27 years, and I was an administrator when I left. I'm interested in all sorts of arts and cultural things, so I just thought this sounded like a good fit.
Very good.
So how much do you know about what the Cultural Council does?
I know that the town receives, I think Pam said, $6,800 a year, and that different organizations come before the council and request some kind of budget for whatever they're doing.
Yeah, okay,
So that's what I know.
very
And
good.
Pam said there were nice people on it, and I said, sounds like a plan.
Any questions?
I do not.
Okay, is Susan Malloy here? And Jackie, I assume it's a misprint, or it says 22?
Actually not.
Right.
So we can have up to 22 seats on our cultural council.
Okay.
We currently only have 6 seated members, so you are welcome to appoint as many members tonight to the cultural council as you would like to, in your discretion.
I can't get this wrong then, okay.
We have to have a minimum of 7.
You have a minimum of 5, which you meet.
Oh.
Well, hi, I'm Susan Malloy. I live on the Greenway in Middleton, and we've been here, my husband and I, 48 years. I was approached by Pam to be on the cultural committee, and I really haven't been involved in a lot of things in town because, I've been working in the Topsfield. I retired from the Topsfield School Department. I had a degree in education and in occupational therapy, so I worked in Lawrence and in Topsfield, but I ended my career in Topsfield. And I joined this craft group at the library, and Pam is in there, and she had encouraged us to join. So I said, I don't know. And I went home and thought about it, and I said, why not? So I think it's something I'd be interested in doing.
Great. All right. Questions?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
And is Judith Reynolds?
So, I'm Judy Reynolds, lived in town for 50 years. Same story, done my career and children and whatnot, and Pam was desperate for some help. I think while there are 5, somehow there seems to be a need. So I'm doing it to help out. There are funds, and I know I've talked to Pam prior years when they get awarded, and sometimes it's they should be used appropriately, and you need to get applications for, and then so that they can be used. Basically, it's the same thing. I'm willing to do the job and give it a try.
All right, great.
Yeah, thanks for volunteering.
Thank you, Judy.
To all of you.
All right, since we have 3 very interesting
This is the
candidates
easiest one tonight.
and lots of vacancies.
I like these
Mr. Chairman,
costs.
if I would, I'd make a motion to appoint to the Cultural Council for a term through June 30th, 2029, Ms. Susan Malloy, Vera Skinner, and Judith Reynolds.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Congratulations,
Welcome
ladies.
aboard. Hey, Pam, how'd we do? We help you?
And if you, ladies, see the town clerk to be sworn in before you go to your first cultural council meeting. So thank you.
Thank you.
We'll wait and give the
Council on Aging.
Joanne a little more time to come, and we'll do the joint meeting with the planning board at this time, it being 7 o'clock. Hey, can you, planning board members, please come up?
There's a fly. Oh, thanks, Jason.
Okay, so, Jason?
Takes care of that one.
Could you call the planning board meeting to order?
I'll call the planning board meeting to order, joint meeting with the select board on the 21st of July, 7 PM. I'm calling to order the planning board meeting.
And we are here for two purposes. One is to reappoint a planning board alternate through June 30th, 2026, and that is Robert Craig.
27.
Mr. Chair, there's a Scrivener's error.
Oh, yeah, 27, because June 30th, 26 is already expired. All right, so feel free to tell us anything you'd like us to know about you.
Yeah, so I'm Rob Craig. I have lived in Middleton for the last couple of years now. Joined the planning board as an alternate last year. Really enjoyed involvement in that board. I'm also on the North Main Corridor Study Group as just a general representative, a citizen rep for that. I've really enjoyed working with the planning board. My daytime job is special projects and grants manager for the town of Rockport. So it's cool to be able to see the differences in how planning boards operate between the two communities, and be able to work on things that are actually in the town that I live in and interact with the most on a day-to-day basis. So really enjoyed my time with the board so far, and I'd love to continue that into the future. I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in public administration at Suffolk, starting in September. So I didn't have the availability in my schedule to potentially pursue a full seat at this time, but it's something that I'd consider in the future once I finish that degree, most likely.
Very
Excellent.
nice, congratulations.
Okay. Are there any, I don't think there are any questions, and so is there a motion?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we reappoint planning board alternate Robert Craig for a term through June 30th, 2027.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, don't forget
Thank
to
you.
get sworn in.
Thank you very much.
And is Robert Pellegrini here?
I've not heard from him, Mr. Chair.
And he was advised to?
Yes, he was.
Is it possible he couldn't make it? I know he's got an erratic schedule.
I talked to Anna today, and he was, from what I was told, he was supposed to be here tonight at 7 o'clock, but I don't know if he had a conflict or not.
But it's only 7:03.
We were told it was 7, so I talked to Anna today. She said he was supposed to be here today.
Okay.
Anna couldn't make the meeting tonight, but, so.
I haven't heard from him or Joanne.
No.
I would almost say let's give them a little bit of time where it's only 7:03.
Yeah, if we want to, if you guys have other agenda, we want to push this back for a few minutes or something like that, if the chair is up for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I think, we can, do that, so you're free to hang out here while we do other business for a few minutes, and then hopefully some of our people we're waiting for come.
I'm going to step out in the hallway and make a few phone calls, if that's okay.
So the Board of Health appointment, we're moving to August 4th. So we're down then to discussing public safety concerns at the state-owned intersection of 114 and 62. Justin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Back on July 7th, the Healy Driscoll administration made the announcement of the creation of 192 new mixed income rental homes through the Momentum Fund. Among those listed was the Villabridge project here in Middleton, project that I believe actually first came forward before Governor Healy was ever even in office, so it's interesting that they're parading it around as a win, but that's neither here nor there. But what is interesting is that the state is supporting the project, which is permitted through the town, and ultimately it is a good project, but they've yet to give us any response on the fact that that project, where they're going to add 60 residential units, is about 700 feet from a top 5% crash cluster, one of the most high hazard intersections in the Commonwealth, where we had a grant to address that public safety hazard, and the state is withholding those monies. And so I wanted to provide an opportunity for the select board to provide input on that, talk about it a little bit, and maybe take some of that feedback from the board. I can put it into a letter that you can fire off to the state to see if they would like to speak to that.
When Justin sent us, that announcement, I spoke to him about, they are making that project possible because I don't think it would have gone forward without this funding. We have done what the town can to help mitigate issues on that intersection by obtaining easements to be able to expand, the intersection. As Justin mentioned, a grant was awarded to fix that intersection, and then it was pulled. I think we need to let the Healy administration know that we expect them to fix their intersection. It is a dangerous intersections by the state's
the
own
stats to prove it.
State road.
state intersection. They should fix it. So I think we should, send, a letter asking them to do so, to fix their intersection.
Absolutely.
And we've made it possible for them to do that by obtaining those easements.
I agree.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would ask, Justin to draft, a letter. And, I think, over the next 2 weeks, since we're meeting in 2 weeks, we can review the letter in 2 weeks before it's sent. But I would also ask that in the drafting of that letter, you speak with, Brian Cresta, since he is more attuned to the political world and might know things to emphasize or how to express them better than any one of us does.
Such as the grant money that was given and taken.
So, right, and the letter has to be made public and publicized, because that is the only way. If it's not worth the paper it's written on. If it just goes to the governor, and it has to be widely publicized, this letter.
Yeah, we can do it.
Press release or-
As an open letter, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But that kind of, strategy, that's where I would like, I think Brian's input would
Sure,
be most
absolutely,
helpful.
yeah.
Right, so do you want a formal vote, or do you have a?
And that would be shifting gears a little, not give us the money you promised and took back. No, now you come fix it.
Yeah, fix it.
Yeah. Right.
Basically,
Right.
yeah, that direction is adequate.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
And the intent with that $2 million grant was to do whatever mitigation we could at that intersection, but they took it. So now they can come
And fix it.
it.
Yep.
Do we see where the lack of having any improvement at that might impact us on 48 South Main Street? Just, not for discussion now, just to think that it's not just for, 49, but, could impact us across the street as well.
Yep, future development opportunities,
Redevelopment, yeah.
the Muzzy Chuck block, for Lake for the old fire department, it's all impacted by that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's another item added to the August 4th agenda. And next, mid-year goals review for.
Do you want to go back to the planning board at 7? It's 10 past 7. We don't want to keep them.
And.
If Justin comes, Jason comes back in, Justin's here.
Okay. Does anyone know? Yeah.
He's not involved, there's no competition
Right.
for it.
So you all met with him last year.
We
when you
did.
Appointed Rob instead. So you did actually see him last year. I remember him because he was the former military officer that does, like property management or something like that, I think, for a larger, sorry.
On a larger scale, I think.
Sorry, not property management, it was, he runs contractor.
I remember him now that you mention it, yeah. He was impressive.
Okay. And it's 7:11. Do we want to keep waiting for Joanne Guarini, or should we take a vote on the council of
I
aging?
would take a vote on
They
the
were asked to be here
council.
at
They were at
6:30, so, yeah.
6:30.
Okay. So, again, I would ask that both Zena and Wendy names be put in nomination.
I'll make that
So
motion.
moved, yep, sorry, second.
Okay. So, Debbie,
My vote would go for Zena. She's currently already doing the hands-on with the Council on Aging and seems to have a really good handle on that. Thank you for everyone putting their hat in the ring and doing and looking to help out with the community, and always keep your eyes open. The talent bank typically always has stuff available.
Cultural
There's a
Council,
place for everyone.
all right, Jeff?
Zena has definitely shown a commitment to the Middleton Council on Aging for all she's done, so I would vote for Zena.
Rick?
I will as well. I know she's been wanting and waiting to be a part of that and get involved more, so Zena's my vote.
Okay, and Zena will be, my vote also. Thank you both, for stepping up. And as we've said, we have other openings, other avenues to be involved, so don't be discouraged.
If you're interested in Cultural Council, let us know, and there's plenty of openings. It's a
into
good
it,
way
see.
to start and get involved. We could appoint as quick as the next meeting, if you're interested.
August 4th. 5 o'clock.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll reconvene the joint meeting with the planning board, and the other alternate candidate is Robert Pellegrini, who is not here, but if someone cares to make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we postpone this due to him not being here, and vigorously advertise the position to the community to see if we can get some candidates for this position.
May I add one note, Mr. Chair, just before you make that motion? We were able to get a hold of Mr. Pellegrini. He is taking Mr. Bernhardt's calls. He did not respond to my voicemail or my email, but he did respond just now to Mr. Bernhardt and is out of state. But just to give you that information, and it sounds like the planning board members are available on August 4th, if that was of interest to the board. Just wanted you to have that information.
You available on the 4th?
August 4th will be.
So he can come in and,
Correct.
Yes, sir.
we may as well advertise it out,
And it's still on our website as
but
well.
I mean, a little more.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's an
we will.
important position, I think.
We've done that on our last planning board meeting. We put it out there to other, anybody in the community that wants to.
Okay, yeah.
I'll second.
But we'll do more advertising.
Yeah, you're seconding, moving it to August 4th.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you guys for coming out.
Thanks for hanging out, guys,
Close the planning board joint meeting.
Thank you.
at 7:15.
Okay, now we go to the goals.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you all may recall, we do our annual goals on a calendar year basis, meaning that when we kick off the fiscal year in July, that's the mid-year point for us to have an opportunity to review the goals. I'd like to go through and just kind of take stock, see where we're at. It helps us kind of course correct a little bit for the remaining half of the year. And every year when we go through and do this mid-year review, I'm always pleasantly surprised at the progress we've been quietly making. So it's also a nice opportunity to kind of highlight how much we've accomplished as a group collectively between town administration and the board over the past 6 months. It also helps us identify areas that, frankly, we're falling short and we could probably dig a little deeper on as well. There are a few on here that are just kind of out of the running in terms of being able to be accomplished, and we can talk about that a little bit too. But I'm going to go over it on a high level. I'll roll through. If there's anything you have a question on or if you'd like to make a comment on, please stop me. But otherwise, I'll just keep cruising if that works for everybody. So for goal 1, we immediately had relative to supporting the town building committee and getting this project done, the coordination of the move-in and project closeout. So we're in the project closeout phase presently. Things are going well, and we anticipate everything to be wrapped up sometime in September. I do envision that we're going to have a little bit of accounting that we're going to still work our way through for months to follow as some of those items settle. But in terms of project closeout, we're pretty much there. And then planning and execution of the open house and community celebration, which is going to be on September 19th, is ongoing. For goal 2, implementing long view planning initiatives via the planning board. We've had some good progress on these as well. I sat with Anna and talked about them a little bit. The comprehensive zoning review was intended to go to annual town meeting this year. We ended up pushing on that for an opportunity to get a little more public engagement, but they've made really substantial progress on that. I'd say it's about 90% there. Continuing and completing a Route 114 Northern Corridor study. They officially kicked off last month or the month prior. The Middleton Square Town Center study is an ongoing initiative that I'd really kind of lump in some of the fire station redevelopment and other items. That's an ongoing process, but we don't have an official committee steering that yet. So I'd say that one's a little bit further behind. As well as the master plan, kicking off that. We've had conversations with the existing master plan, and Jackie met with Madam Moderator late last week to kind of talk about some direction for that. But the goal for that is fiscal 27, so we have the year. Number 3, conduct a town-wide fee study. So we have continuously updated those and implemented into the fiscal 27 budget. Goal 4, developing an IT plan with projects for the regional IT collaborative. So we have connected to the regional fiber network and migrated largely away from paper records. There's been a lot of initiatives through the departments to collect the old physical files and convert them into Laserfiche. So that's been a good accomplishment. And then delivering an IT system for the new public safety and town hall building that we're currently in, which I'd say is 99.9% complete with the exception of some ongoing PEG coordination that's kind of been lingering. but that was a huge accomplishment, even considering the fact that we shut down on for a Friday, and they had all the physical machines flipped over to the new buildings up and running immediately for Monday is mind-boggling to me. Great job.
100%.
Number 5, increasing recruitment strategies for volunteers and committees. So promoting vacancies using multiple means, building a pipeline of engaged and knowledgeable volunteers, and linking their experience with pertinent boards and committees, and then continuing to hold the Citizens Academy, which Jackie just announced today. So we've checked all of those boxes, and once again, as always, we very much appreciate the volunteers that we have for a lot of our boards and committees. But that said, and I think some of you can speak to this probably, many of you wear many hats, and you're only one person. And so trying to diversify the talent pool we have and trying to encourage future generations to step up and get involved is always an ongoing challenge, but we continue to push with that.
Well, and I think tonight's meeting, so I mean, every, the Board of Assessors, 2 people interested, COA, multiple people interested, Cultural Council, multiple people interested, so.
It's working.
That
Yeah.
definitely shows the detail in the want.
Yep, people are engaged. We're not begging, which is always nice, and we appreciate it. Number 6, compiling a list of town-owned properties. We all know where we're at on all of those, so I'll spare you, but it's an ongoing process. I marked them all as yellow, kind of midway, incremental progress on all of them. The police station obviously is probably the closest. Number 7, identifying opportunities to study and address townwide traffic concerns. That one is a red. It was red last year. It will continue to be a red for reasons we discussed previously in the evening. Number 8, renew focus on employee engagement, satisfaction, and appreciation for recruitment and retention. So that includes a systematic review of salary surveys, something that this board and the finance committee generously funded to continue that process going into this fiscal year to inform next fiscal year's budget. Prioritizing employee health and wellness as part of staff trainings, which we have an employee committee that oversees health and wellness, and they do an exceptional job, and they're very engaged. That includes Kate Davies as well. It does a lot of coordination with Jackie Bresnahan, and they do a lot of good things for our employees, engaging them in health and wellness initiatives. And then continue where budgeting allows the progress towards the 70-30 healthcare split, which despite an extraordinarily challenging financial situation for fiscal 27, we were able to keep that commitment. So it's good work there. Number 9, overall communications. So continuing the pre-town meeting, which we have done, increasing public and internal communications with boards and committees, we have done, and continuing bringing in department heads on a regular basis for updates, which we have continued to do and I think is invaluable. And not only, I think, from a standpoint of helping this board kind of get a little bit more of a glimpse behind the curtain on what some of the department heads are doing, but also our department heads are all doing really interesting things. And I don't think there's a lot of opportunities for them to come and kind of showcase it. So there's kind of a dual benefit there. Number 10, long-term planning. Develop and present a long-term plan beyond the goals, mapping out the next 5 to 10 years in Middleton, update on an annual basis and present at the start of each fiscal year. Really, I'd say that should be yellow. I got a little trigger happy with the green there, but Mr. Pertakis and I, as I mentioned earlier, are working through that. I have a draft that's probably at 95%. Costa will give me a little input on that and we'll bring it to the rest of you. I do want to correct this note here though. For a long-term management plan, we really shouldn't be updating it manually or annually. It's something that is an every 3-year type of thing. We should review it annually. But if you're changing your long-term goal every year, it's too herky-jerky and it's hard to get a good arc for your organization. But we'll dig into that in a future meeting. Middleton 300th. So we've established a 300th committee and funded it, but we haven't appointed people to it yet. And I think that's something that should go on an upcoming agenda as well. especially now that we're in fiscal 27, calendar 28 seems really close. So I had some conversations with our town clerk actually on this topic earlier today as well. And then working with town departments to support anniversary activities. So that's ongoing. 12, development and housing, so ensuring that large-scale developments, specifically the Villabridge and the 35 Village Road project, are vetted through a vigorous process. Those have made really good progress, and I think ultimately will turn out to be perfectly fine projects. But I think the important part is we're holding them accountable and advocating for the residents, which I think is appreciated in the community. Number 20, or same one, but for fiscal 26, hold public conversations relative to 40B developments, our obligations, and then talking a little bit about the 10% SHI. When the 35 Village Road project hit, we had a really great forum on that topic that I think was very informative. And then I would say the work that the ZBA has been doing relative to the 35 Village Road project continues with that public outreach. And then revisiting the funding of a housing production plan through the capital process, that came up in the conversation on Budget Saturday. It was not well received by the boards or committees, and so we have put that one on ice for a little bit, but still an important topic that I think we should come back around to. And then lastly, budgetary period of performance for the next 3 years, closing out all collective bargaining agreements, which we have accomplished, including so fire department was after town meeting, they're going to have to retro, but the police department was on time, which is my understanding was the first time in a while for several cycles that contract has been done in a timely manner. And that speaks to not just our effort here, but the collaboration with the members of that union. They've really dug deep. We've done a lot of culture work over the past few years. And there's a lot of mutual respect at that table. And I really appreciate that. It's, respect goes both ways. We have to give it as well. And I think they know that, that we respect them. And it's just it's a really good relationship. And I appreciate that. Building out a transitional zero-based budget for fiscal 27 that takes into effect the fluctuations, or into account the fluctuations of moving into the old buildings into the new buildings. We talked about that a lot in the fiscal 27 process, and I think we've accomplished that as we try to still adjust some of the line items, particularly I think year-end transfers really underscored energy. I think is going to be a challenge for us trying to figure that out, but I think we've made good progress. Upcoming fiscal year, so continuing with the commitment to hold back on operating budget override and to deliver a balanced budget for fiscal 28. I think going into things, that's our goal. It's always our goal. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull it off. It's early. It's July. We just settled for fiscal 27. And
take a breather.
Yeah. So, well, but also no days off. So you know what? We're pushing through. So that's the goal. But as things kind of settle, relative to the broader economy globally and nationally, not just locally, we're looking at those factors, and I think we'll have a clearer line of sight when we get closer to the holidays and we kick off the new budget season. So, but it's always our goal to avoid an override. And then,
in that light, I think, we should take a formally decide on budget guidances at our August 18th meeting.
I think that would be great. And I did actually intend to reference in my administrator update that I had met with Mr. Coogan in Boxford and Mr. Hartunian in Topsfield, and we had an excellent conversation relative to not just the school budgets, but our own individual budgets and challenges that we're having as individual communities, and trying to look at ways that we can try to regionalize our efforts where appropriate for cost savings and efficiencies. So I think that'll help inform that conversation in August a little bit as well. And then the last one, obviously, same thing, but for the next, we're going to keep trying to push off an override as long as we can, basically until we can't anymore, I think is the consensus. So all in all, a lot of green on this list, which is great. We're halfway through the year, but still a long way to go on some items, particularly redevelopment for the buildings that we left behind. And some of the planning initiatives as well that have been a little slow going, but methodical, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. But once again, I think a credit to this board and the guidance and the work that you put in. We have a lot of long meetings, and we hang out a lot. We spend a lot of time together, so 6 more months to go. We'll revamp the goals, and but for now, I think we have a good direction. Yeah.
And also, like you said too, Justin, the department heads are doing great things too, which also help in our board making valuable decisions when we're getting good information and adequate information. So without them, I think we would have a harder time.
Yeah, we're not hands-on
That's right.
in doing things. So we need to know what is happening to make the good decisions.
That's right.
And that should be our role. It's not our role to be the town administrator or the town clerk or the
Right.
assessor, right?
What I was saying is, with the department heads, they are providing, we've
with
had
you.
some in the back before.
But it's good boots on the ground, and I think it's to your point, it's a balance between getting good direction from the boards and committees, which you all do provide good direction, coupled with our department heads' ability across the board to execute. And I think it's those 2 points that really make it work here. So
Okay.
kudos to everyone.
Agreed.
Yeah, keep up the good work.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Next, last agenda item, and 35
Kate's
minutes
out there.
ahead of schedule.
Look at you go.
Because Brian's not here.
The Cresta effect. Yeah.
And yes, we said that out loud.
Yeah.
It's, our next
Hey, Kate.
agenda item is an executive session pursuant to General Laws, Chapter 38, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. In this case, the police chief contract.
I'll be recusing myself.
So is there a motion? to
I'll
go-
make a motion to enter executive session at 7:31 PM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Or actually, we'll take a roll.
Oh,
call.
yeah, Costa,
Yes.
Jeff?
Yep.
And I am a yes.
Rick will be recusing himself, and we will not be returning to open session. We're adjourned.